As the guy who came up with the first forensic technique, specifically for 3D printed guns, all the way back in 2013, I feel there's a lot of things that need to be clarified on the issue. First, if you're afraid of a 3D printed gun, you're probably unfamiliar with 3D printing and you're probably unfamiliar with guns. The way a firearm works is by generating pressure from the gunpowder igniting to push a projectile out the barrel. 3D printing is generally useful for producing plastic structures, most of which cannot bear the pressure of most modern cartridges. Now, there are a few exceptions I'll get into. First of all is propellants with low energy density. This would be things like butane or most of your hobbyist-grade combustion potato cannons. Second would be things like flare guns or pyrotechnic or cap guns, various types of pyrotechnic or amusement devices. Things that can't chamber modern cartridges because they have much higher pressure than small caps or signal flares. As a result of that, most 3D printed guns use very weak cartridges. They have no rifling, so they have no accuracy. They're basically what are called zip guns, small homemade firearms. In the 60s and 70s, they're often made out of pipes or car antennas. Now, you're just using plastic instead. But despite much of the hype, again, they are completely detectable by modern technology. For example, they still need metal parts to work, like a nail for a firing pin, and they still use conventional cartridges, so a regular metal detector is more than sufficient to catch them. There's been a lot of fear-mongering from the usual suspects about 3D printing firearms, but homemade firearms come from a variety of sources. Homemade potato cannons, blank shooters made for stage, various types of flare guns used for search and rescue. Most boats and a lot of RVs will have one, for instance. As well as experimental archaeologists reconstructing parts of things that are no longer practical, like old Chinese fire lances or old Napoleonic stuff that they don't make spare parts for anymore. The only people who would benefit from total bans on this stuff are going to be the for-profit prison industry, because they're going to have a lot of kids making potato cannons, or hobbyists and historians they can throw in jail with mandatory minimums. That's why I oppose a lot of these reactionary, stupid bans, because they're going to harm citizen science a lot more than ensuring the illusion of public safety.